Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Beyond measure.
So I'm gonna explain to you the whole process of what happens when you get a bump, right? What is a bump and does it do? What happens to your weapon, right? So imagine now you have your first Gybsum. So it's just a video, just to show you this small part, okay? You have your Gybsum orb, you have one of them, you wanna get a cast, right? So let's imagine you wanna get for the rapier. So this guy's gonna get for the rapier, Gybsum rapier cast, and he buys it. And that's how it looks like. And then he opens it. But first, before he opens it, look at the rapier level here. So his rapier right now, expertise is 541, right? That's expertise level on the rapier. Now, when he opens it, he's gonna get a bump, and this is exactly how it looks like, right? Gear score 546, right? So it was 541 before. He got plus 5 expertise, it's 546. And you're just gonna need to repeat that every day. You get to do that once a day. Once free bump a day. And you just repeat that every day. And you wanna buy that, you wanna buy all the other casts for the other stuff that you need, same concept. So now, what happens once your expertise reaches 600, right? You can see here on my screen, all my gear is 625, 625, but I have one 600. So assume that's the one you have, okay? You got it to 600. If you get more Gybsums and you open them, it's not gonna go beyond 600. It stops there. Now, if you wanna upgrade to 625, you actually have to spend these stuff, UmbralShards. And you need a total of 8,850 to get to 625. Okay? Now, we don't care about that now. You just care to get to 600. And this is the life hack I want to show you. I want to show you something. So this is 600. Let me go buy one spear Gybsum. This is a spear cast. Okay? I'm going to buy one spear cast. Okay? And I have in my inventory other stuff. So the cast is here. So I got it to 600. Opening this, so you already know that you're supposed to get bumps, but you're not gonna get because it's 600. So what happens when I open it? Here's what happens. I got a random spear like usual, and you get 100 UmbralShard. And this is a vital resource that you want, and you want millions of these. You want 100,000 of these. Why? Because you need 8,850 to get one gear to 600, from 600 to 625. Now it gave me 100, and every day I can get 100. But let me show you something. What happens if I open? So I have footwear here, and my footwear is 625 expertise, and I open a footwear that is a cast footwear. What's gonna happen? Let's see. 400 UmbralShards. So basically, what you want to know and remember is that this shards that you get is gonna scale with what you have as expertise. If you have 625 expertise, you're gonna get 400 UmbralShards. If you have 600 expertise, you're gonna get 100 UmbralShard. Now that's where you can think. Now you can already get the logic of what you want to do as you go through the game. So the life hack now is, I don't want to open the spear casts when I'm 600 expertise. I want to open them when I am 625 expertise, and the reason why is because I want to get 400 UmbralShards per cast instead of just 100 UmbralShards per cast. Right? Now, what does that mean? What do I need to do? Every day, when I am 600 expertise, every day, I still buy the spear cast or my main weapon cast, and I keep it. And remember, you can only buy one cast a day for one type. So one rapier cast, one hammer cast, one shield cast, one in each one, right? I can only get one per day. And so I get my spear one, and I keep it. Next day, I buy my spear cast, and I keep it. And go on until you are able to have enough shards to 625 one gear. Now you might ask me, okay, well MAJD, you're a dum-dum. How am I even supposed to 625 a gear if I'm not even gaining shards? If I'm every day buying a spear cast and keeping it until I get my spear to 625. Well, how the hell am I gonna get these shards to get to 625? Well, the answer to that is, first, either you do mutations, which is something that's gonna be difficult right now, or the other one is, and that's the most important one you need to do, is once you do your Brimstone quest line. So Brimstone is right here, top left. That's the Brimstone area. You open your map here, and any main quest you have and any side quest you see, you have to do everything in here, everything, all the main quests, all the side quests, because these are gonna give you a shit ton of stuff. It's gonna give you good gear, and it's gonna give you UmbralShards. Now see, I'm an absolute retard right now. You see how I have one quest here not done. This is just one quest not done, and I'm a retard right now. See, I didn't do this. I was supposed to do this a long time ago, but it's not a problem because I actually got all my shards. Only because it's the last thing. This was a random quest I picked up like a couple days ago. But you want to do all your main quest lines, all the side story quests, everything in Brimstone. Once you do that, what it's gonna do is gonna give you almost free stack of 10,000. It's gonna give you like 8,800 UmbralShards, right? So once you do your entire Brimstone quest line and all the side quests in there, you're gonna have around 8,800 UmbralShards, which is exactly enough to 625 one gear. Remember, how many do I need from 600 to 625? I need 8,850. So it's gonna give you roughly around that, enough to 625 one gear. And that one gear, you're gonna need to 625 one gear, and that's gonna trigger a chain effect to 625 all those other gears in one day. So I'll give you an example. Imagine I've been doing that every day, buying a cast and keeping it, and then I ended up getting 25 casts. That's an example, right? Because honestly, with me, that's what turned out to happen. When I was doing this trick, by the time I was ready to 625 one item, I had exactly 25 casts of each. So I had 25 spear, you can say it was rapier at the time, or musket. 25 of this, 25 casts of this, 25 casts of headpiece, 25, 25, 25, 25, right? And here I had like 10, 15, something like that. So what had happened with me is the moment I 625 my first gear, so you want to focus all the shards you get into one main gear that you have, which should be your primary weapon. You 625 that. Now imagine I had 25 casts, and I know that when this one is 625, I'm going to get 400 UmbralShards, and I have 25 of those. So 400 times 25, you're getting a whole free stack of 10,000 UmbralShards, like one stack of this, 10,000, which is enough to 625 your next gear, and you get even extra shards. So this you need 8,000 to 625 this, but you're going to get even 1,500 extra. So what's going to happen is, you're going to maximize your first spear to 625 from the Brimstone questline, and then you open all 25 casts. You get all these shards that you're going to get, and then you 625 your next item. And then now you open all the shards that you have for the next item. Where do I have a sword here? This one's sword. But imagine I had 20 of these or 25 of these. I open them up. I'm going to get, because this is 625 now, I open them, I'm going to get 400 each. That's another 10,000. And that 10,000, I can now maximize my helmet from 600 to 10,000. Let me do that right now, just to, you know, I should 625 this anyway, right? Now I 625 that. I have any helmet shards here? See, I have helmet gear. I just open 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 25. Oh, legendary. That's almost best in slot for another weapon. Okay, nice. So you get that. See, I get extra UmbralShards. I open the next one. I maximize this weapon, and so what's gonna happen, guys? As you can see, you're just gonna 625 everything. Same logic goes to this stuff, right? You wanna, so every day when you log in, you do your daily quest to get the gypsums. You come here, you craft your gypsums that you need. You're gonna get a bunch of everything here, and then you scroll down, you get all the gypsums you need. So I need my amulet. So first I'm gonna assume I'm a new player, right? So my first weapon is musket. That's my main weapon. I'm a dumb idiot, OP musket though. Rapier, my next secondary weapon. Those are my main two weapons in the game. So that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna focus first in your first gypsum to get those, and then you start getting your armor pieces. So helmet, where's the helmet? well, chest piece, I'm seeing chest piece. I get the chest piece. Get the headgear. I'm looking for the headgear. Headgear, right? Headgear cast. And you just buy them all. And every day you do the same exact process. And any gypsums left over, you buy the jewelry ones. So the jewelry is in the end. First you want to buy your main weapon. Then your armors. I'm gonna run out of shards after the orbs of this one. First your weapons. Then your armors. And then if you have any left over, you buy the earring, the amulet, and the other stuff. Okay? Once you do that, you're Gucci. You're good to go. Now I'm gonna leave it. Let me stop the recording here and start that last one so that I don't mess up. One last super important thing that you guys need to do. I just explained to you what you do once you open the bombs on your main weapon. So we were explaining before, there is the bumps that you get when you're pre 600, when you're 500 gear score. Every day you're opening a cast of your weapon and you're making it to 600, right? You remember what you get +5 expertise with that rapier video, right? Now you're doing that for the weapons, but you do not want to do that. You do not want to do that for the armors. And the reason why is because I want you to stack up the armors even more. You're gonna get a shit ton of UmbralShards from that. So the armors right now, when you're watching this video, your armors might be around 500, 500, 500, 500, or 505, 550, whatever. The important part is it's below 600. When your armors are below 600, I don't want you to open one single cast. You don't open a cast, right? Because there's a way, which is, I'm gonna show you guys later, but it's called taxi runs. Or you do world tours, which is, you see in chat, always in recruitment chat, here I'm gonna open recruitment chat, you see people saying X Siren, see X Siren, X Cast, X Helios, X whatever, right? You join those, and what they do is they go world tours around the world, they kill elite mobs together, and they gather elite chests, which are gonna give you also armors, gear, and those are gonna actually give you bumps. So you do world tours or Taxi Genesis. So there's a dungeon here in Eden Grove called Garden of Genesis. You do find group, regular, find group, and you see lobbies. When you see here a title called Taxi, then you do that one, right? I'll be right back. Yeah, sorry about that. That was my mom. If I didn't answer that phone call, you wouldn't have heard my voice anymore. So again, where was I? So you Taxi Genesis. If you want to do taxi runs, Taxi is basically the first boss. It's like a boss name in Genesis. It's a named mob. Sorry. So you open the map. You go to Eden Grove. You explore this area, Garden of Genesis. You find group. You create. You look for a taxi here, and then you just join. Request to join, right? And what they're gonna do is a taxi run. You basically go on to around half of the dungeon, or maybe even the first quarter. You kill a mob named Taxi, and by the time you kill the mob named Taxi, you probably killed like 3 or 4 named mobs who are gonna drop gear around your expertise. And what that's gonna do is gonna give you a lot of bumps. So one taxi run, and by the way, if you do it in a good group, in a good group, it's 7 minutes. In a bad group, it's 5 hours. And I'm just kidding. Probably like 30 minutes or something like that in a really bad group. Good group, 7 minutes. You kill that mob, you leave the dungeon. You once you kill that mob, you hit escape, unstuck, and then brings you when you unstuck, it brings you to the beginning of the dungeon, and then you just leave manually. Oh shit, I fucked up. I'm gonna go through the whole animation. Hey man, mama. Okay, well, I'm fucked. So you do that, it's gonna take you to the beginning of the dungeon, and then you just leave from the exit manually, and you repeat that. So that's taxi run. And that's gonna give you a lot of these bumps. So you wanna spam that from 500 gear score until you get to 600. It's very tedious, but trust me, when you get all these cats every day and you do that trick I'm telling you, it's game over. Absolute game over. You don't need to suffer anymore in your life anymore again. You're gonna have so many UmbralShards, and I promise you that you will probably never need to do mutations again. Ever. You may play the whole game, not even do any mutation. But if you enjoy mutation, and eventually you might need to do if you wanted to get even more gear. But this is gonna give you a shit ton of UmbralShards. That trick I'm showing you. Anyway, you don't touch the armor ones. So when you have 500 armor, you don't touch them, you don't open them. You buy them every day, every single day. You buy all the armor casts. You don't open a single one, and you just do taxi runs. Each taxi run is around, let's say, 15 minutes. You're on a normal group, and each run is gonna give you 4 bumps. 4 bumps. Imagine you have 4 casts, bump, 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 4 bumps, each taxi run. So it's incredibly OP, incredibly OP. And you do that and you spam that shit until you get full 600 in armors. Now let's say you got to 598 here on this one, 598. You're like, oh, well, it gets difficult towards the end. Maybe when it's 598, you're like, oh, I just need to get lucky to get that one hand gear to drop to give me that extra bump. At that point, you probably have a lot of casts. You just open one to get it from 598 or 595 to 600. That one is just a couple casts. It's not gonna matter. You're just gonna get those, right? Right, and then now after that it becomes 600 gear score, and then you just keep going with the same logic I explained to you. So when it comes to the armors, you're always stacking them from the beginning. You're really never opening them ever. You're stacking them from day one, never opening them at all until you 625 your first weapon, and then you do that whole chain effect that I told you about, right? Now might be smarter when you want a 625 your first item, it could be the armor, and the reason why is because remember you're stacking these up when you were 500 gear score, so you're spending more days stacking these up. When you're only stacking the weapons up when you reach 600 expertise, right? So I would say, so it depends on you, but in the end you just keep stacking everything that, like the weapons after you get to 600 expertise. The armors is from the beginning. You are seeing this video right now, you just start stacking these every day, and by the time you are ready to 625 your first gear, you check which one you have more stacks of. For example, if I had 15 stacks of spear, but I had 25 stacks of this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, I would be dumb to open the spear, because if I open the spear, which is only 15 stacks, I'm not gonna get enough shards to 625 my next gear. Because 15 casts are gonna give me 400 times 15. It's gonna give me 6,000 shards, which is not enough to. Remember, I need 8,800 to 625 this, right? So if I get 6,000 shards, it's not gonna max. So I would be smarter to 625 my armor at that point, in that specific case, because I have more of that, which is enough to 625 my other stuff. So I would 625 all of these, then my weapon, because if I have even more than 8,000, I'll 625 that, right? That's the concept, that's the logic. I hope you guys understood. Sorry for the if it was a long video. I think it's probably gonna be long. And if you have any questions, ask me or ask anybody in the guild. Sounds good? Alright, bye-bye.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.